观众朋友，大家好，欢迎收看客家新闻杂志。语言是慢学，文化也会谈论模学。还会对比1988年客家族群开始发生的反俄母语运动，毛利人则是在1972年有一个按照战士的团体发起争取语言权的请愿运动，得到超过3万3人的签名支持。下后毛利语言复苏运动如联俄接动的展开。1987年，毛利语变做纽西兰的官方语言，更加有许多毛利语写的小说、戏文、杂志也有，还有毛利语版本的电脑软体。很想学毛利话，由大学也开发了过强的线上学习系统，也是母语教育的点线面，路带大家去了解毛利语的危机和复苏。纽西兰橄榄球国家队比赛以前的毛利战舞客家震撼人心，对手怕如客家强拍拍的耶。银色橄榄球 rugby 是纽西兰的国球，今年10月的世界杯韩国爱睇纽西兰攀，对毛利族群来讲，当然是推广语言文化非常重要的机会。纽西兰国歌在19世纪都有毛利话的版本，更加单单第一段会先唱毛利话，第二段能唱英文。不过毛利话的版本会变得很普遍，可能是因为伊的后生歌手20年前在世界杯橄榄球赛先用毛利话唱的纽西兰国歌，把毛利话上到国际舞台，当然要感动的毛利族人。
When she sang it in Maori first, and then and the whole country, and we sat there almost in tears, and the news, the things that came out almost immediately, everyone was in shock, the commentators, and it went through the country, and that. How dare she, you know? And all the racist comments about it. Now it's become a common thing, you know? Everyone sings the national anthem in Māori and...
更加毛利话会从变做纽西兰的国家字眼呢。不过20多年前，语言学家其实认定毛利话无一久都爱切下的。
Prior to 1840, the country was predominantly Māori. So settlers were just beginning to come into the country, etc. So the idea of the language being under threat at that stage was not even a possibility because of the number of Māori people. At that stage also, our settlers wanting to create a relationship, we'll say it was a relationship, came about with the signing of the Treaty of Waitangi, which is our founding document. So from there, colonisation began. So there were obviously more and more foreigners coming into New Zealand, settling, creating a lifestyle for themselves. With that came different education systems that were originally from their homelands. 里面纽西兰政府在1871年通过《原住民学校法修正案》，规定毛利学校强势地用英文来教学。同台湾同样，每当年都有在学校教母语本身生活的经验。
Where I came from, Māori was the only language that we knew till we went to school. And we had to speak English, and And many of us were strapped. I always used to get strapped because you get caught speaking Māori, and so you got strapped. And but we learned how to cope with that. There were still more children than teachers, so you outnumbered them. And we see a teacher come, then we keep quiet or wait till they go past before we speak Māori.
學校地位是唔得講母語，睇路卡講政府仲管唔到。不過既然政府搶重視英文，嗰度毛利家長也受到影響，因為細人呢能擺愛有競爭力，都愛講英文。到1970年代，能23%嘅毛利人會講毛利話嘅，一群人也單單如40歲國家嘅，5歲愛讀書嘅細人呢，搶存冇1%會講母語。另外，政府是有計劃性嘅愛幫毛利人融入白人社會，特別普羅地位艱難落實，嗰度毛利人如使到都市去嘅，也如使到毛利化消失的韓國人。
We have the term pepper potting. These are potatoes. Represents non-Māori families. The Māori families moving into the city, they would represent the pepper that has been sprinkled on the potatoes. So there's lots of potato and only a little bit of pepper. And so our Māori people, the families that moved to the city, weren't able to talk or rather socialise with other Māori families. So, not as much Māori language being spoken.
Because they've been in that world for so long. And the problem with that is when you go back home to your papakainga, where you come from, it's like probably when you go to Haka land and you can't speak. And then they look at you, you're like a visitors, you know? You know what I mean? You're just like a visitors to your own people because they speak to you and you say, oh, they say, Grandma, I can't speak Haka language. And so that is very sad. That's what's happening to us over here.
多見人哋來到屋企嚟，依照毛利人同嗰度島民會來嘅市場門看下先，行喺嗰度毛利人講，而冇馬曉講毛利話。
You speak Māori very well?
No, not really. A lot of people in my family, but it's something that we're all well aware that we need to improve on. A lot of our language has been lost because when we were young, it was all about embracing the European culture and moving forward, and in that process, a lot of people lost our language, you know.
For a lot of Māoris at the moment, there are quite a few that speak it just in like ordinary world, like just like at the market, but majority don't choose that. Majorities tend to speak English.
I'm not a speaker of the reo. My children speak to each other in Māori. They normally speak to me in English. It's faster for them, they think. And they speak to their papa, in Māori.
雖然呢毛利話講啊比也愛韓國好，一種情形更加睇紐西蘭去平常。因為1970年代起時，毛利人發現安尼唔錯嘅藥，個唔叫母語，怕落去無救嘅。一早早團體成立，因泰山呼籲，要求政府使唔得唔重視毛利語言同文化。
Even though we are only a minority, 15%, historically there was a document signed called the Treaty of Waitangi between the Crown and Maori that was signed in 1840. And that gives us protection, to protect our language as a taonga or as a treasure. That's one of the things the treaty does. And so the governments and the government departments have to take recognition of that Maori have a right under the Treaty of Waitangi to the protection and survival of their taonga, of their treasures.
And in New Zealand, they're quite conservative, except we had these young university Māori students who protested, and the people started gathering momentum, and the people started becoming more vocal. Māori became more vocal and says, we have a right to this country. We're the indigenous people to this country, and this is how we see us working together.
Through a lot of protesting and pushing, and also a report that came from the Waitangi Tribunal, the Māori Language Act came about, was enacted in 1987. So this Language Act made Māori an official language, and also created the Māori Language Commission.
亚团期间，各种复苏茉莉花的运动联合集中嘅展开，茉莉花从现那提共享两百的，更加成果也很丰富。
We have plays, poems, short stories, novels, all now written in Māori. We even have some translations of William Shakespeare's stuff, which has been put into Māori and acted. We have music, videos, magazines, all of those sorts of things in Māori. We have computer programs that are in Māori. So there have been some huge leaps forward in terms of revitalising our language, and they all help. They all help. They're all important. We recently, in 2010, we had a new Māori language dictionary produced with over 60,000 words. Yeah? That's amazing. That's amazing. Produced by Māori, for Māori, in Te Reo Māori only. Yeah, no English in it.
We have a lot of initiatives, not necessarily started by the government, but out in the community, of different ways to learn Māori. Download applications onto your cell phones, whereby you can have little phrases and learn. So you're learning Māori in a modern way. I'm not sure about the iPods, but Google has been translated into Māori, so you can now have that. There's a proposal I see to have Facebook, you know, the instructions on Facebook in Māori as well. AUT, University in Auckland, have a very strong program of being able to learn Māori online.
那一項重大成果，如係促權媒體嘅發展。現時紐西蘭有差唔多27隻普羅廣播電台，其中21隻係政府出錢，其他嘅如係自家種錢。每日放送18到24點鐘，針對無共用嘅聽眾，茉莉花同英文嘅比例也無共用。2004年，政府還出錢成立嘅茉莉電視台。下一段節目，錄向下一看茉莉人用嚟傳播語言文化。
Thank you.